Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. We were going to try to get outside today, but the weather looked kind of iffy, so we're back in the corner office here, and God, there's so much to talk about, so let's just get right to it. First of all, it's the 80th anniversary today of D-Day, right? June 6, 1944. Just a tremendously emotional and important day in Newburyport history. The saying, as they say, all gave some gave all. If you haven't ever watched the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan, do that. Again, it's a cinematic version, but it still gives you just a little bit of an idea of what that day might have been like for a lot of the young men and women who had fought for our country in World War II. I think of Salisbury's Boots Chenard today. So Boots, if you're out there, thank you for your service. He was there that day on D-Day. He just turned 100 towards the end of last year. He's still going strong. I still see him out walking all the time. So Boots, thank you again for all that you do and all that you've done for our country. Okay, so we had a big weekend last weekend, right? We had Pride. We kicked off Pride Month here in the city. We had an incredible flag raising on Friday. Councilor for Ward 4, Ben Harmon was the speaker, and then we had an awesome second Pride Parade here in Newburyport, and we had at least double the amount of people from the year before. I actually think it might have been 3 times, but the weather was perfect. We had an incredible day, and it was just a fun day here in Newburyport. So we'll look forward to continuing to celebrating Pride throughout the month of June. We also had a big graduation in Newburyport, so congratulations again to all the 2024 graduates in Newburyport High School. I wish you a lot of luck, and I hope you have a wonderful summer here in Newburyport. I want to shout out a really special Newburyport resident as well, Jeanette Isabella. Jeanette is, I call her my volunteer extraordinaire. She has lived in Newburyport for over 40 years, but she has helped in so many different ways with so many different causes over the years. She's been involved in the Custom House. She's been involved of the Greater Newburyport Ovarian Cancer Awareness Society. She's on the board of the Friends of the Council of Aging. She's also on the board of the Emma Andrews Library. I mean, this is just a couple things she does. So she was nominated by Senator Tarr, and she actually received the YWCA Northeast Massachusetts Tribute to Women Award. And it was in the paper this week, so if you missed it, I'm going to send along a picture of me and Jeanette as well. But Jeanette, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. We are so lucky to have you here in Newburyport. The FY25 budget process is still moving through City Council. Again, it's a very public process that they go through once I submit the budget, that first meeting in May. So we are 4 budget hearings in. We've got 4 out of the way. We've got 4 to go, so we're halfway there. Some big departments still left to talk about in these budget hearings. We have DPS, so that's parks, that's highway, that's water, that's sewer. We have sustainability, we have social services like Newburyport Recreation and Youth Services. We have public safety like police, fire, harbor master, health. So all these things still have to come up through council. And again, these are public hearings. They're happening on Tuesday. Next week is going to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And those run from 6 to 8 p.m. on those 3 days that week, right? There's one tomorrow. Actually, there's one tonight, so it's going to be too late by the time you see this. But there is one tonight, and they're going to be talking about sustainability, parks, and highway. So that's tonight. So again, good process. Councilors ask a lot of good questions. Again, I think we put together a very reasonable and thoughtful budget this year. There's not a lot of big asks in this. What we did say with this budget is that, hey, we think we have a lot of the right pieces in place. We'd like some more dollars in a few different places to get more work done next year. But we're really not looking to add any headcount this year. We're looking to kind of stay with what we have and do a really good job at what we're doing. And I think you're seeing that work happening all across the city right now, which is pretty great. All right, what else is going on? MBTA Communities has a meeting tonight. But as you know, again, this is a big talk all around the state. I think Newburyport's in a much better position, so it hasn't been big headlines here because I think we're in a really good spot to meet MBTA guidelines here in Newburyport. So we submitted 2 options to City Council, right? Right now it's in the Planning Development Subcommittee. Once they vote that out of committee, it will go back to City Council, and then they will vote just to send what we've done so far and what we're doing. We're just building around the 40R Smart Growth District, right? So it's lucky we had that in place. It was easy to kind of work off that and get to the unit count that we needed for this zoning change. So we'll send that off to the state, and the state will look at it and see if we meet MBTA communities, and then they'll send it back to us, and then we'll officially vote. But we need to be in compliance by the end of the year. If you've seen some of the headlines around the state, there are some communities, like say Marblehead or Milton, who have decided to vote down MBTA communities, and now they're in a legal fight with the Commonwealth. So like I said, I think we're in a much better position. As you know, there's a huge housing shortage here in Massachusetts, which, when there's a shortage, right, the prices go way up. I think it's over 200,000 units or housing units that were down right now in Massachusetts. So again, this MBTA communities was the last administration's way to kind of generate some of that housing production. And every community has to do their part. So like I said, I think luckily we're in a better spot here in Newburyport because of that 40R district, so we can actually work right off that, and it doesn't affect other areas of town. All right, so that's coming up. What else is going on? We have a new IT director that just started. So I want to welcome Dave Petto. He started this week. I've checked on him a few times. He seems to be doing good. As you know, James Pope, who I had hired a little over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, decided to leave for the private sector. And again, he was a huge loss because he was so good, and he got so many good projects started around IT. We were so far behind, years and years and years behind in a lot of the things we did here in the city. So James got us on the right foot. James actually helped us and worked with us in this hiring process for Dave. And Dave comes from Belmont, the town of Belmont, where he basically started the IT department there, and he was there for over 20 years. So Dave brings a lot of experience. He lives in Salem, Mass, so he's excited to be up here on the North Shore. And we want to wish him all the luck, and we hope he's here a long time. We've got a lot of great things going on, and we know he's going to be the one to kind of take these projects through to completion. Now I just want to talk about a few things that are going on like this weekend, right? Fireman's Sunday is coming up. This doesn't get a lot of press, Fireman's Sunday, but it's such a cool ceremony that happens each and every year. It's always the second Sunday in June. My grandfather was fire chief, so I grew up going to this all the time. They do a nice little ceremony out front of headquarters, and it's actually named after my grandfather. So Page headquarters on Greenleaf Street, they do a nice little ceremony at like 8:15, and then we march down State Street to Oak Hill Cemetery, which is on Parker Street. And when you go in Oak Hill Cemetery, the first thing you see when you walk in is the Fireman's Memorial, and then we do a little ceremony there. Excuse me. So we're excited about that. So that's happening Sunday. Hopefully we'll get some nice weather for that. And then next Thursday, so a week from today, the Bartlett Mall, we're going to dedicate that new playground. So it's that universally inclusive playground. It's one of two now in Newburyport. But we finally finished over Memorial Day weekend and a little bit into June, the rest of that playground. So we're going to officially dedicate that. That should be exciting. It fits into my administration's goal of making Newburyport as inclusive and accessible as possible for all citizens. Ties into like that floating beach chair that we just accepted from the Shine the other day. So these are all these little things we're trying to do around the city. The second playground is down at Lower Atkinson at the Pioneer League Park. So we're going to be doing that as a later date because there's some other things that we want to finish up down on Merrimack Street. But we're going to have this big dedication on next Thursday, 4 p.m. So if you can get up there, do that. On Sunday of this weekend, there's the Favorite Poem Project. I've been participating in that each year since I've been mayor. That's going to take place at the Senior Center at 3 p.m. on Sunday. It's the 22nd annual Favorite Poem Project. So I have got to pick my favorite poem. I usually try to pick a Newburyport poet, and then I am going to work on that by the end of this week, and I'll have my poem ready. But if you got nothing to do on Sunday, stop by the Senior Center and hear a lot of great poetry. It's actually a really, really, really great event. And lastly, I wanted to highlight this because it's big and it's coming up in a couple weeks. June 17th on the waterfront. It's going to be 2 p.m. And we're going to dedicate and celebrate the completion of the Market Landing Park expansion, and we're going to celebrate the completion of the Bulkhead project. Congressman Seth Moulton is going to be there. Congressman Moulton was instrumental in us getting a large portion of the funding for the Bulkhead project. Then we also got 2 other grants that were the bulk of the funding for the Bulkhead project, one from the state, the EDA, and then one from the state, the Seaport Economic Council. So we got 3 massive grants for this project and a little bit of city money. So we finished the Bulkhead project, and if you haven't been down to the Market Landing Park. We're just starting to take some of the fencing away. All the installations are just about in, but it looks incredible. And this is, project was many, many decades in the making. So many people to thank, so many people to celebrate. So we're going to have a huge celebration on June 17th, 2 p.m. So mark your calendars, get down there. And that is going to be a park that generations of Newburyporters will now get to enjoy. And that's my Mayor's Corner this week. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Like I said, we're getting a little rain, but for the most part, it looks like we're going to really have some great weather coming up. And I will see you all next time on the Mayor's Corner.